As the clock ticks down on 2023, the Saints march into Tampa Bay ready for a gridiron showdown. Postseason play is on the line as New Orleans looks to keep the Bucs' hope of clinching the NFC South at bay and the Saints' title hopes alive into 2024. It's a day of celebration, and the black and gold are looking to ring in the new year with a win over Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Welcome into Saints Gameday Live right here on NewOrleansSaints.com. I'm Erin Summers. John DeShazer will join us from Tampa shortly. This game is a 12 o'clock kick on Fox, and yes, it is in Tampa Bay. So we're going to be in enemy territory, but there is a lot on the line as this is a divisional game, and the Bucs can clinch the NFC South title with a win. For our poll question of the day, we want to know, who do you think is going to score the first Saints touchdown of the day? You can scan the QR code in the bottom of your screen. Is it going to be Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Chris Olave, or Rashid Shaheed? Now, obviously, all of those players have scored the first touchdown in a game this season. But I was looking back through it earlier today. We've had two defensive touchdowns scored first, Tyrann Mathieu and DeMarco Jackson. Actually, that was a special teams touchdown there. Keith Kirkwood, Jimmy Graham, Tony Jones Jr. have all been options for the first touchdown of a game this season as well. But Rashid Shaheed does lead the way with 3 touchdowns scored first. All right, without further ado, let's head over to Tampa Bay and check in with John DeShazer, who is at Raymond James Stadium. Hey, John.
Well, thank you, Erin, and good morning from Raymond James Stadium, where the Saints attempt to keep their season alive. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers are looking to win the NFC South division for the 3rd consecutive year, and that'll be 3 consecutive years after the Saints won it 4 straight years. So the Buccaneers on their own little streak, they've gotten hot at the right time. They've won their last 4 straight to get to 8-7 this season. So a win today against the Saints or a win next week at Carolina will give them the NFC South title. Now, if you're talking about the Buccaneers offense, you have to talk about quarterback Baker Mayfield, who's had a renaissance season during the 4-game winning streak. Mayfield, 76 of 121 for 1,010 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has protected the football. He's got 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions this season. So that's exactly what they wanted out of him this season at quarterback. Also, Tampa Bay's offense averaged 29 points a game during the winning streak, 31 points in the last 3. So the Saints defense will have its work cut out for it. His favorite target, obviously, wide receiver Mike Evans. There will be no Marshawn Lattimore at cornerback for the Saints today, and Mike Evans is one of those guys who really has to be watched. He's got 73 catches for 1,163 yards and 13 touchdowns, which leads the NFL right now. The Saints would like to not have him add to those statistics today. In Tampa Bay, only averaging 89 rushing yards a game, but averaging 106 rushing yards the last 3 games behind running back Rachaad White, who over the last 5 games has run for 414 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So the Tampa Bay running game has been adding in to the Tampa Bay passing game, which gives them a little bit of balance. Tampa Bay's defense, which has always been pretty good under Coach Todd Bowles, the same this year, only allowing 19 points a game over the last 3 games. They've been very, very, very stingy. In running game, Tampa Bay allowing only 92.1 yards a game and just 64 yards a game over the last 3. So they've really tightened up, and the Saints have had some difficulty running. So you want to see if the Saints are able to pierce that run defense of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay plus 10 in takeaways this year. 24 takeaways, 11 of them fumble recoveries. So the Buccaneers have been extremely fortuitous in terms of taking the ball away. They're led by outside linebacker rookie Yaya Diaby, 6.5 sacks. Defensive tackle Vita Vea has been the same Vita Vea that we're always accustomed to seeing. He's got 5.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. And safety Antoine Winfield Jr. has had a fantastic season. He's got 110 tackles, but also 5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. He has been a force for that Tampa Bay defense, and the Saints will have to be cognizant of where he is at all times on the field today. Well, that's it from here at Raymond James Stadium. Back to you, Erin.
I am extremely jealous of the fact that you're out there in a t-shirt and it looks sunny and warm and nice there. So I know you're going to enjoy yourself today. For a look at the Saints, let's get into our countdown to kickoff presented by Little Caesars. As John mentioned, the Tampa Bay Bucks, yes, at play for the NFC South title. The Saints, they're still at play for playoff hopes of their own and the NFC South title as well. If they can win out, they will need some help, but it all starts today. Got to get this win over Tampa Bay. The Saints have shown a lot of fight in games, especially late in games, climbing back in. So we need to see this New Orleans team playing inspired football from the start. Offensively, it's going to start with establishing their run game. Last week against the Rams, only 35 rushing yards. It's not going to cut it today. Got to establish that run game so you can open up the pass game. Stretch the field with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Rashid has 7 catches this season of 40 or more yards. You want to utilize him against the league's worst pass defense. In order to take advantage of that, because the Bucs, they're 32nd in the league against the pass, you got to establish some sort of a run game first. Defensively, as John said, the Bucs, led by Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, they have a lot of threats. They really rely on their pass game. So you have to make sure that everybody is communicating in the secondary, really eliminate any miscues. We saw a couple against the Rams. So you got to be disciplined, know where your eyes are, and stay focused there. But you also have to be wary of the Bucs' run game because it has been improved. Over the last 3 games, they have gotten over 105 yards on the ground when throughout the year they've been the 3rd worst there. So they are definitely starting to build on that run game a little bit with the offensive line, kind of finding some continuity. So Saints got to be wary of their improved run game, but make sure they're really locked up in the backfield. Special teams-wise, the Saints, 2 of the last 3 games have forced turnovers in the special teams side of the game. They had a blocked punt, and then they had a forced fumble that they returned for a touchdown. So capitalize on opportunities when they're there. Be aggressive in that phase of the game, and hopefully can create some turnovers that will benefit the Saints in this one. It is going to be a highly emotional game. I don't doubt that, because both of these teams really want this victory. Now, John DeShazier was able to catch up with head coach Allen before they headed to Tampa Bay. So let's see what Coach Allen had to say going into this one.
Coach, I guess a must-win kind of game. If you don't win, your playoffs possibilities are extinguished. But how do you approach the week? Because, do you take it from that standpoint, or is it just kind of another week where you go about your business?
Well, yeah, it's another week where you're going about your business. All of us understand what's at stake. But really, it's no different from week 1 to week 2 to week 17. It's all about your preparation, how you go about getting ready to play, and then it's going out and performing on Sunday. And so I think we've had a good week of prep, and hopefully our guys will go out and play well.
Receiver Chris Olave, 1,000-yard season, 100-yard games in 3 of the last 4. Just how have you seen him progress this season?
Yeah, look, I think, he had a little rough patch early on in the year. I think he responded really well to that adversity. He's come back and played in the second half of the season. I think he's played exceptionally well. He's nursing a little bit of an ankle right now, but yet he went out, last week against the Rams and was highly effective. So I'm excited about watching him play.
Tampa Bay's offense has had a little bit of a renaissance here. They won 4 straight, and Baker Mayfield's been their quarterback. They're averaging 29 points a game. Just how has he progressed in his career? Because this seems to be a career season for him.
Yeah, look, he's playing really well. And I think he's instilled a lot of confidence in their offense. I think you can see that their team plays with a chip on their shoulder. And I think a lot of that comes from him and his attitude. And the way he goes about competing on every single play. And so I think he's playing exceptionally well. He's got some good weapons to get the ball to.
One of those weapons, Mike Evans, the receiver, another 1,000-yard season. You guys have traditionally been able to match up Marshawn Lattimore against him. Marshawn probably won't be in this game. So does that change how you approach covering Mike Evans?
Yeah, no, I don't think it changes a whole lot in terms of how we go about trying to take him out of the game. And yet we got a lot of respect for him. We understand what type of player he is. He's an explosive player down the field, and so we're going to have to do a good job of making sure we got plenty of attention to him.
You know, protecting the football is always important every week. They've got 24 takeaways, 11 fumble recoveries. Just how much of an emphasis is it for this week?
Well, look, in particular in this game against this opponent, it's been the number one deciding factor in who's won this game. And so it's been a big point of emphasis. We're going to have to do a great job of taking care of the ball, and then we need to take the ball away from them.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, JD, for that time with Coach Allen. There are a lot of good points that he made there. Turnovers are definitely going to be key in this one. I was able to check in with wide receiver Keith Kirkwood this week in our What's Brewing feature presented by Community Coffee to see what's been going on in the receiving room and how Keith felt after getting his first touchdown of the season against the Giants. Welcome to What's Brewing, presented by Community Coffee, alongside wide receiver Keith Kirkwood.
What's up?
I'm Erin Summers. Keith, you got in the end zone for the first time since your rookie season a couple weeks ago. What was that moment like?
It was one of the best feelings ever. Just from everything that I've battled through, from just getting to the NFL, right, getting hurt, going to Carolina, coming back here, and then just putting my foot down, my head down, and just working every single day. And all of the hard work that all of the trials and tribulations, everything paid off once that touchdown happened. So it was the most beautiful feeling. And then to have my daughters there, to be there for that game was just unreal. So I'm just so thankful that that happened in that moment.
Yeah, the first touchdown came from Drew Brees when you were here with the Saints originally, and then you go to the Panthers. How excited were you to be back here with the Saints?
It was like one of the most fulfilling feelings that a human could ever feel, especially from the city, from my players, from the staff, just everyone. And once I reached London last year, when I came back, just the open arms, the warm welcome that I felt was just so heart-filling. And I'm just so grateful to be back here with the New Orleans Saints.
You mentioned your daughters.
Yes.
One of them, I think, turns 10 months today.
Yes, today. Today's the 28th?
How's the family? Yes.
Yes. You were, hey, that's great. I love that.
How's the family?
The family's doing really, really well. My daughter's awesome. She's healthy. My eldest is doing really well, too. They are my biggest inspiration and why I still continue to play this game.
It's a tough game this weekend, facing the Tampa Bay Bucs, a lot on the line with the NFC South.
Yes.
Mentality has been said, it's a playoff mentality.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I think at the end of the day, in my eyes, we just have to control what we can control. Because the outside noise is going to basically say we have to do certain things we have to win out, obviously. Certain teams have to win. But if we can just control what we can control and quiet the noise, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. But if we execute, control what we can control, everything will take care of itself. And God willing, we'll be in the playoffs.
Great catching up with Keith, and really happy to hear that the family's doing well. They are so cute. It's fun to see them out at the games. Now let's check in and see who is in and out for this one with our list of inactives presented by Louisiana Cat. And the Saints did announce on Saturday that right tackle Ryan Ramczyk was being put on IR as he's still working through that knee injury. So he is out for this one and for the rest of the season. Not a lot of surprises here on the inactives list. The one that we were watching was Alvin Kamara, running back, who was out with an illness Friday at practice, but he is going to be good to go today. So looks like the team is as healthy as they can be with the players that have been available at practice this week heading in to the game against the Bucs. It's going to be a big battle. So it's good that Alvin Kamara is going to be available because we're going to need that run game for sure. I know a lot of you traveled out to Tampa Bay, so I'm sure the black and gold is in full force, as they usually are, getting excited for New Year's Eve, bringing in the new year at midnight, and let's hope we can kick it off with a win. So let's check in with the black and gold roll call presented by Bud Light.
Jordan Neville from New Orleans. This is
Paul Trinicosta from New Orleans as well.
We've been lifelong Saints fans, season ticket holders for quite some time. We came in town yesterday here to celebrate, and looking forward to a victory today. Go Saints! Let's go!
Woo!
We're Michael Wallace and Michelle Reed, and we're from West Monroe, Louisiana. Go Saints!
What's going on, guys? My name's Roy. I'm from Chalmette, Louisiana. I'm a Saints fan. I'm here for the game this weekend. Obviously, one of my favorite players is Alvin Kamara. Go Saints!
I'm Nita, and this is Donald, and we from Houma, Louisiana. Go Saints!
It looks like a lot of fun out there. The weather looks like it's going to be amazing, which is great since that stadium is outdoors. The fans rocking some of the Saints jerseys. I saw Cam Jordan in there, Alvin Kamara as well. Head coach Dennis Allen has not gotten a win against Tampa Bay since he's been the head coach. So looking for that first one here today. High stakes, need the win. Starts at 12 o'clock on Fox as the Saints are at Tampa Bay. We'll be back right here on NewOrleansSaints.com or at Saints on X with our post-game show alongside Super Bowl champ, former linebacker Scott Shanley, myself, and John DeShazer in Tampa. Thank you so much for joining us for this pregame show. I'm Erin Summers and look forward to a great Saints game and hopefully that victory.